skincare lovers, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy. This is the video that I have been dying to share with you since the very first day of my skin reset journey. I couldn't wait to see if all of this patience and doing less for more would actually make a difference on my skin. Now that a month have passed, I have so many things to share with you, including how this reset has completely transformed my skin. Let's not waste any more time and dive right in. Let's start with a quick recap of what my skin used to look like. Before I started my skin reset journey, my skin was in absolute chaos. I had so much breakouts, inflammation, and redness all throughout my face. Those fiery, itchy red spot that I had on my cheek, jaw, and neck area was so prominent and uncomfortable. Underneath of the hydrated and glowy look that I had, it was actually a desert with unevenness and dullness to boost. It felt like my skin was throwing a full-on protest. There were a lot of things happen that I talk about in details in part 1 of this skin reset journey. I will leave the link to that video down in the description box below so you can check that video out. But in this video, I will talk in details about the progress I have made with my skin afterwards. My real progress only started in about day 3 after I did the whole skin reset. My skin started to feel much calmer and less red. By day 4, I didn't need to apply my moisturizer midday anymore, which is a really good sign because before that, I had to apply moisturizer at least 2 times a day to keep my skin hydrated. I also noticed my skin got a lot less red and inflamed. I think it's most likely due to less rubbing and tapping of endless skincare layers that I used to do in an extensive skincare routine, but also with eliminating a lot of the products out of my skincare routine, it helped to eliminate most of the irritants. Another positive sign I have started to see very early on is that the red patch around my mouth had actually started to calm down without me doing anything else aside from moisturizing. I had tried so many things to try to keep it calm, but it never really got to that point. But of course, I didn't go in with multiple moisturizers like before. I just did a thin layer of the Cicaplast Balm. My face and neck at this time has already starting to feel less itchy. It was still very inflamed and red from what I can see, but it's still a major improvement compared to a couple days prior. I still had a couple new pimples coming up. It felt a little bit discouraged because I thought I had eliminated all of the irritants. I shouldn't be getting any new pimples, but I forgot our pimples will form deep underneath the skin. So anything I was experiencing then would be the pimple that were already there prior to when I started my skin reset. So it's just a natural cycle of the skin that was trying to go through. But this time the pimple actually matured a lot faster than they used to, and I could extract them very safely within a couple days. By day 14, this is when I saw a massive improvement on my skin. It's got so much less congested, inflammation, and redness. I would say about 80% of what were on my face were already gone at this point. I was so happy because for I think 9 months, I tried multiple skincare that was specifically focused on barrier repairing to help my skin recover, but I couldn't do that. And now with just 2 products, my skin was 80% better than how it was before. Of course, I still had some breakouts at this point, but it wasn't big or painful like it was before. I think I was going through a very similar purging period, like when you were on acne treatments or retinol, where my skin was trying to push out whatever left inside to clear out my skin. Once those pimples came up, I can safely extract them and leaving my skin with very minimal damage compared to before when I have very inflamed red pimple Anytime I attempted to extract any one of them, I would be left with severe inflammation and scars. This is one of my guilty pleasure. I would still pick on my pimples regardless. This is a very bad habit to do. I always advise my viewer to never touch or pop the pimple, but of course I couldn't stay away from mine when I saw them. But this time, it was so ready to go that I did not have to put too much force at all. The toughest spot for me at this point is still my jaw and neck area. I still feel them quite inflamed and itchy even though I did the same thing as my face. However, I think I did a little bit more to them than my face, meaning I did not leave them alone. I felt the itchiness and the inflammation. I kept touching them. I think that's when I introduced more bacteria, but also the contact irritation from my hand keep touching them throughout the day that didn't let them have a chance to properly heal. That's why it took a little bit longer for this spot to actually heal and go away. At this point, you can imagine I have been going off of my sheet mask for 2 weeks, which is a long period for me to not having any fun with my sheet mask at all. This is when the urge for me to keep using the sheet mask was as the strongest. My hand would literally try to reach for the sheet mask every time I do my skincare routine. Because to me, that ritual just helped me de-stress and provide so much hydration to my skin that I always enjoy after a long working day. But now I could not do that anymore. I literally had to hit away all of my sheet masks that I don't see them because in the sheet mask there was so many ingredients and potential irritants. So keeping them off from your face at this point would actually do so much more for your skin than utilizing them. My skincare routine up until now really only consisted of 3 products. I have started to feel pretty comfortable and confident that my skin could handle more. So I decided to add in the Haru Haru Barrier Essence, which is one of the thickest and the most nourishing essence out there to help with the barrier repairing for my skin. It actually felt so good to have just a little bit longer skincare routine. It adds so much moisture and nourishment to the skin that I can feel my skin enjoy this so much. But I had to dial back on some other products in order to make room for this one. Prior to this, I have about 2 to 3 layers of toner, 1 serum, and then a moisturizer. So I decided to reduce the toner. Remember the problem with over moisturizing? I am trying to not make that same mistake again. By the 3-week mark, my skin has already felt so good that I was confident that I can incorporate actives in my skincare routine again. In order to not overwhelm my skin with a strong active, I decided to go with something that can do multiple things like azelaic acid. I used the Paula's Choice Azelaic Acid 10% to help with the acne and hyperpigmentation. The way I use this is to apply my whole skincare routine and then put the azelaic acid on at the last step. The reason why I do this is to have a buffer for my skin to avoid the deep penetration of this ingredient. I'm still so scared about irritation on my skin that could trigger acne and breakout for me again. That's why I had to go with the utmost caution. However, even though I took all of the precautions that I can, my skin was still feeling a little bit irritated the next morning. How do I know this? I had new red breakout. And it wasn't like the purging breakouts that I had before. This one is similar to the irritated breakout, which is red, inflamed, and a little bit hot. This is very concerning for me. And remember, whenever you do a skin reset, you should pay close attention to how your skin reacts to each of the ingredient or each of the new product that you introduce into the routine again. And that's what I did. I don't think my skin was ready to have actives in the skincare routine again, even though I only used it once, so I decided to take it out. Of course, you would think I learned from that mistake of putting azelaic acid on too early. Surprisingly, I didn't. I used a different moisturizer for my skin. Or more accurately, I was using a complete new moisturizer to rebuild my skin barrier, which is the Celimax Barrier, Celimax Dual Barrier Skin Wearable Cream. Obviously, this is a mini version because I was trying to test it out if it worked for my skin, and that shouldn't be done during this period at all. But because I trust on the barrier repairing claim of this product, and the ingredient also looked very promising, so I was thinking, this is probably one of the best times to try out a barrier repair product. It is not, I can tell you right away. Because within one use of this product, since my skin has been on a skincare fast, it now reacts very quickly to different ingredients and new products. The next day, I start to have small pimples everywhere. This had set me back a little bit on my journey, and I got so depressed because I thought a barrier repair product should work on the skin. And this would be the best time for it to work, but it is not. So I had to eliminate it from my skincare routine again and be loyal to my Cicaplast Balm. After getting scared 2 times with new breakouts on different products, I decided to keep my skincare routine to be the exact simple routine that I had always had. At the 30-day mark, I still have some breakouts from the new products I put on my skin, but honestly, just keep to the reset routine that I had, I would probably have clearer skin by now. And this is the result of that try on. After 1 month of doing this process, my skin has become stable again. My breakouts, redness, and irritation has almost completely gone. My skin tone also started to look brighter. The dullness just naturally goes away without me using any exfoliants at all. Lastly, the tightness and dehydrated feelings that I always feel in my skin also subsided. I did not feel that anymore. My skin doesn't feel sticky, irritated like it been. My skin right now definitely doesn't have that perfect glass skin look, but instead, I have achieved a natural and healthy glow to my skin again. Just like my skin today, it literally only have the Haru Haru Barrier Essence and the Cicaplast, but it already looks so glowy and healthy. Surprisingly, I can achieve this look without having to spend 30 to 45 minutes on my skincare routine and breaking my banks with endless number of products. After successfully going through this process, here are what I have learned so far. The biggest lesson I have learned here is that consistent skincare routine make a lot of difference in your skin condition. Having a 3-step skincare routine can feel very boring at times, but it definitely gives your skin the most optimal condition to recover and rebuild itself. This is not to say that you cannot have a longer skincare routine, but just remember, patch test any new product that you want to bring into your skincare routine, then give that product time to actually settle in before thinking of adding more. The second lesson here is to not being impatient with the process. I definitely have experienced this feeling during my reset process where I had a very strong urge to keep adding in new products. It doesn't mean that I add in complete new products that my skin doesn't know. I like to add in here and there the products that I think would work for my skin, but I completely forgot just a simple routine would work better. Just be patient with your skin. Don't try to add anything unnecessarily in when you are going through the reset process. Next is incorporating active too early in the process. I made this mistake when I tried to use the azelaic acid too early when my skin wasn't really ready to handle that strong active again. I don't think people realize how much time the skin needs in order to repair and rebuild itself. It doesn't take a couple days. At least the skin would need a couple weeks to completely heal and repair. My skin especially take even more than that because I have been beating it down so much in the last year that it did not have any chance to recover at all. Every individual would have different recovery timeline. You just have to listen to your skin and really go in very gentle with any active that you want to bring back into your routine. As I go in with more products, my habit of over moisturizing would creep back in again. I still remember all of the detrimental effects that the over moisturizing caused on my skin, so I do have to keep in mind not putting too many occlusive layers on top of my skin. As a skincare lover, I still love to try out new products, and I believe there are so many amazing products out there that would give wonderful results on my skin. But after going through everything recently, I have come to learn my skin limit and understand better what my skin language is. So in order to not overwhelm and destroy my skin in the future, I would be taking a very slow approach to any new product, but also listen better to what my skin is telling me. If you are also on the skin reset journey, remember, doing less is more. By giving your skin time to reset itself, it can naturally heal and repair. Thank you so much for watching and being a part of my skin reset journey. After completing this journey, I feel incredibly happy and proud of myself that I was able to refrain myself from my love for skincare and not adding too many products into my reset routine, even though I was tempted every single day. I learned to better control myself and be more intentional with the products I choose to put into my skincare routine. This has also given me a very strong core and basic skincare routine and learned to listen to my skin better and earlier. If you are experiencing the same problem that I had previously, skin reset is definitely something that I would recommend you do, and hopefully you can learn something useful from my own journey to help you with yours. And remember, take care of your skin, take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!